Good morning, stamping friends. Brenda Hillard here at Create with Brenda. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located here in North Central Minnesota. I come to you live every Saturday morning with an episode of Coffee and Create, bringing you a fresh new card idea using products, current products from Stampin' Up! So anyway, here we are. I'm just kind of waiting a few minutes. There will be some people hopping on shortly. What do I have to share with you? There's free shipping coming up on orders of $75 or more. That'll start on the 9th. So let's see, what do we have? Monday, Tuesday, 9th through the 11th. So I will be posting more for that. There's also a join special going on right now. So if you've ever thought about joining the Stampin' Up! Team or the Create with Brenda team, I would love to have you. What else? I think that's it. Good morning. Good morning, Kay's card. Yes. Happy hot coffee Saturday. Here's the coffee. And we need it. It's 38 degrees here this morning. 38. Brr. So, and go Twins. Yay. They play today at 3:45 at Minute Maid Field in Houston. So, come on, Twins. All right. Monday is the 9th. Yes, thank you for that. I'm not good with counting days right now, so thank you, Kay. Karen. Kay's cards, Karen. All right, here we go. Put some light on the subject here. And I'm going to flip down to my workstation and show you what I've got going for today. All right, coffee aside, the September through December mini catalog, yay. That's been going now for a little over a month, 6 weeks. Today I'm going to be using the Pick of the Patch bundle, and it's on page 51 in the catalog. Such a cute set. The pumpkins, you can make them as you can see here. Remember last week I talked to you about getting your Creative Mojo from the samples in the catalog, but you can see that they've made very elegant looking cards with this set, and then we've got the cutesy Halloween kind of sets too. So I know, happy World Card Making Day. I know it's super fun. Yeah, so let me get to business here. So the card that we're going to be doing, I went through, remember how I told you how I have my little card recipe box? And I found this card from quite some time ago that was done by Chicken Scratch. And I have the measurements here for the card, so that's kind of fun. And I just want to double check here quick. I think we're all good, and we've come up live. Yes, good. So here's my interpretation of this card recipe. All right, I've used I feel like my lighting is really bad today. Let's see if that helps. Anyway, so now when I open it, I have a little sentiment inside. Look at this paper closely, you guys. Ooh, isn't it pretty? I'm going to show you here what we've got going. It is the tartan foil papers that are online exclusives. Is that gonna... Yes, Donna. Yes, that means you need to make a card today. This is what I was saying is the tartan foil paper. It's the Pebble Path, Lost Lagoon, and Copper Clay. So this is the one side, and as you can see, it's really beautiful. And when you flip it over, you get the whites. So really, really pretty. Online exclusive. But if you are not an online orderer and you would like that paper, all you have to do is reach out to me and I can help you place that order. Okay? All right, so let's get started. What we need is a card base that measures 5.5 by 8.5. Let me bring in my trimmer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this per usual at 4 1/4. Okay, so just a score at 4 1/4. Then I'm going to turn it so the 5.5 inch side is at the top edge of my trimmer. Excuse me. And I'm going to measure in at 1 3/8. And then I'm going to cut to the 4 1/4. Just like that. So we get this flap, okay? And then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to take it down to the bottom and I'm going to measure again. Well, I can just flip it too. That might be easier. And again, I'll just do 1 3/8 and I'm going to cut to the score line or 4 1/4. All right. So now we have this piece that looks like this. All right. But before we go away with the trimmer, I'm going to take my cutting blade and I'm going to line up at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to cut down along the score line. And it's kind of a funny thing, but you can feel it pop, like when you hit that cut line. And then I'm just going to turn it around, same thing, 4 1/4. And I'm going to cut. And like I said, if you move slow, you can feel that a little bit of like a pop on the blade. So now this is going to be our card base. Ooh, my lights just flashed. It's really crazy. Give me a second. What was that? I suppose with Halloween coming, I've got gremlins in my house. Good morning, Nancy Ann. Happy World Card Making Day to you. You guys, seriously, I would have forgotten to mention that. So thank you for reminding me. Okay, so from here, I need a scrap of basic white, a scrap of mossy meadow. I did a little die cut, and this comes from the Timeless Arrangements. I love these little rectangles in here. And I think if you look closely, you can see it, but they're like a stitched edge, but then there's like little X's halfway through on each side. Super cute. So I have one of those already die cut. I have two pieces. One is of the Designer Series paper and another is just basic white. And these measure 2.5 by 4 inches. And then I have two strips that measure 1 1/4 by 4. Okay. So is what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to add some adhesive. I'm going to put my card down. I want to just set my Designer Series paper on the edge of this flap. And then I want to make sure that my border for the top and the sides are about the same. Okay, so like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here at the bottom. You're going to want to stay tuned because I have a really kind of a slick tip to show you for using the punch. Again, I'm going to push this up to that edge making sure that my side border and my bottom border are the same or close to. All right, there we go. So now our card is going to look like this. It's hard to see that tartan, I think, on the copper clay, but you know, I need my bone folder. I feel like I don't have a very good crease right here. There, now I do. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to add adhesive. And I'm just going to center that right here on that front flap. And all I want to do is just make sure that my edges of my designer series paper line up. All right, let's do a little bit of stamping. What I need is to stamp my sentiment. This is going to be our little insert that fits right in here. And on the inside of this one, as per our sample here, I have thanks so much. So I'm going to grab my stamp. My ink colors I chose to use today are Cajun Craze and Mossy Meadow. I'm going to take the Cajun Craze and ink up my stamp. Because I am using photopolymer, I want to use my piercing mat just to give it a little cushion. So I'm going to do the thanks so much. And then I decided on this one I wanted to do it a little bit differently. So I'm going to take one of the, look at all of the pumpkin shapes in here. Isn't that just like awesome? And what I want to do is take this little teeny tiny pumpkin right here, and I'm going to put it on a block. And I want to just stamp a little whoop. There, now I'm inked up well. I'm going to stamp a little pumpkin here. Okay. And then there's a little tiny stem that I can add in Mossy Meadow. It feels kind of big. I'm just going to take a scrap of white and I'm going to put it right here at the top. Ink this up, and then I can just use part of the stem so that I don't have like this giant stem on a little pumpkin, right? And then I have one of these little pumpkin curlicues, and I can just add that to my pumpkin as well. And I don't want it as big as it is on there, so I'm just gonna stamp it off a little bit, and there we go. Okay. I like using that little trick of laying down a piece of cardstock so that you can shorten things up or make them a little smaller. Just use part of the stamp. I guess instead of saying block it off, maybe masking is a better word. I'm just going to line this up in here so that, again, my edges are with my designer series paper. So when I put this down, it perfectly covers the inside. So what are you guys thinking about this tartan plaid? I love it. Love, love, love it. I want to take our next sentiment here that says, "You're the pick of the patch." And using Cajun Craze ink and our little die cut label from the Timeless Arrangement dies, I'm going to ink this up, and I'm just going to stamp it down in the center of our label. Okay, so there's you're the pick of the patch. I have to change a few things up here. And I'm going to add this little leaf stamp back on. I'm done with those. So here's what I was going to show you, you guys. So when you get a punch, right, and you turn it over and you look at it and you see how this punches out the stem, the leaf, and 2 of the pumpkins. So as what I did is I took a piece of black cardstock that measures 3 by 3. I put it in and I punched it out, okay? So now I have this template. And as what I'm going to do with the template is I'm going to take my rubber stamps and I'm going to put them right in the cutouts, okay? Flat side up. So they sit in there just like that. All right. Then I can take my block, push it down, and pick them up. All right. I'm going to dip into the Cajun Craze again. And I feel like they're inked up well. I am going to stamp this down. Just like that. When you stamp Cajun Craze, it looks really dark. But as it dries, it does lighten up and come up to the color that you're hoping for. All right? But by making that black silhouette and putting our stamps in there, now when I go into punch, both of these are positioned perfectly, and I can punch both pumpkins, same time, one strip. Okay? And maybe you guys know of that little trick, but it works. I know. I agree, Karen. Anything plaid is awesome. All right, so here's our 2 pumpkins. Now is what I'm going to do is bring in just a scrap piece of Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to put this right down the center. And I'm going to punch a leaf. And, yeah, where did my, oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. I dropped it on the floor. I have 1 leaf. And I need one more stem. So as all I'm doing is from a scrap, I'll just punch another stem. Okay, so there's that. I do want to stamp the leaf. So I'm going to ink that up with Mossy Meadow. And I'm just going to set it down on here. And I'm doing tone on tone. And that just gives me that little leaf image. Okay. All right. So I think we're done stamping. And as what I'm going to do is just add these little stems to my pumpkins. And I always like the stems to go off at an angle because I feel like, do you ever find a pumpkin that just has the perfect stem sticking up? Not really. I'm going to put some adhesive on this section of the smaller, the squattier pumpkin. And I'm just going to put them together like so. Then I'm going to bring in my stamping dimensionals, because can you have a card without dimensionals? I don't think so. Because what I'm going to do is take the backing. There's like that little wax paper backing. Take those off. I'm going to add the sentiment to my card, to the front flap here on our fun fold. And then I'm going to add these little pumpkins in here, just like that. And then we'll put just a little leaf accent right here where they join. Okay? That's right. Nothing is ever perfect. It just makes it unique. I like that. So then to finish this off, I'm going to use a little bit of the 2023-2025 In Color Jute trim. I'm going to take this and just tie it right around our flap on the fun fold. I'm going to make a little bow. And then I can just bring in my ribbon scissors and give those a snip. And what a cute little curly jute accent for our card, right? All right, guys, that's what I have for you today. Our fun little fun fold. All right, and that again uses that tartan plaid and the online exclusives. And remember that we have free shipping coming up on orders of $75 or more. Be sure to use my October host code. And that's what I have for you today. So, again, thank you for joining me. I am feeling like I'm picking up a little bit of speed, so I hope it continues. And I will see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time right here on Facebook for episode 390 of Coffee and Create with Brenda. All right, you guys, here's to your cup of coffee. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye for now.